speaker today comes from Wildlife Action Camp in Mullins, and Wildlife Action has been around for many, many years, and they've been dedicated to conservation, site restoration, wildlife conservation, and educating youth all over the region. And they've got a camp. Kids go over there and camp out each year, and it's affected many people's lives and helped them to appreciate the nature that we have around us. So please give a warm Rotary welcome to Frank Oliver.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Lauren said, my name is Frank Oliver. I'm with Wildlife Action. Appreciate being here with you today, and I'm excited to be here for one reason. I think I get a chance to preach to a little bit different crowd than what I'm normally preaching to around the Mullins-Marion area. So, Lawrence, appreciate the invitation. What I thought I would do would be give you a brief PowerPoint presentation to tell you about our organization, and then I want to share with you a couple of the quick points, and I'll get you out here around 2 o'clock. But as Lawrence said, Wildlife Action, we are a 39-year-old conservation and education organization, and we're dedicated to teaching children and families about the outdoors and stewardship of the good earth. Basically, what I'd like to say is we put kids and families in the woods, on the water, so they can learn to understand and appreciate what God's given us to take care of. Okay, so you might ask, who are the members of Wildlife Action? Well, we are hunters, we are fishermen, and we are environmentalists. And there's a common theme in this picture as well, and if you look at all of it, it's going to be, one more time, children. Children are our main focus. That's really what Wildlife Action is known for as for our summer camps. Summer camps, we have 7 sessions of camp. Kids start at age 6, they go on up to age 16, go through a variety of different programs and kind of a graduation level upon the next. However, camp is only a small part of the organization. It runs from the first full week of June through the first week of August, and the rest of the year we've got a lot of other things going on. But let me quickly tell you a little bit. We are headquartered in Mullins, South Carolina. We got chartered April 26, 1977, and we're now in 8 southeastern states. North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia all have multiple chapters, multiple properties, and then we have 5 other states with individual chapters in those as well. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you a few things about the organization that you might not know. To me, this is the most important slide on the whole presentation. And basically, what we're trying to do is educate children who are, of course, future leaders of our world, but also our greatest resource on how to be responsible stewards, and therefore our future will be in good hands. In my line of work, I work with a lot of biologists and game wardens and property managers and things like that. When you talk to those folks, you'll find out most of them develop their love and passion for the outdoors as a child, with their grandparents or their parents, or fishing or hunting or some kind of way. But what I think is kind of unique about our organization is, one of the previous slides says we're hunters, fishermen, and environmentalists. Well, it's not always easy to get the tree huggers and the tree cutters in the same room, but there is a place for all of us as long as we have the mutual concern for the good earth and teach our children to do the same. I'm going to go through this really quickly. We have a 5-point law. One of our founding members and our current president and CEO for 36 years was Mr. Bunny Beeson. He was a scoutmaster for 19 years and followed their 4-point law, and we've added a 5-point law to it. But basically, these are the 5 areas in which we're trying to work: preservation, conservation, education, sportsmanship, and fellowship. We do have a slogan and a motto, put back more than we take, and then our motto is local folks solving local problems, because who knows more about what's happening in the PD region than the people in the PD region, not necessarily somebody in Washington who perhaps has not even ever been here. So we like to try to put those 2 slogan and motto in effect as well. Okay, there are 4 divisions: hunting, fishing, environment, and education, and there's a senior vice president in each one. For 8 years with the organization, I was the senior vice president of education. I worked with the youth programs. Best job in the world. Mr. Bunner retired 2 years ago, and for about 2 years he wanted me to take the CEO position, and I was like, no way. I was working with the kids, the wildlife, the food plots, politics, the problem solving, the fundraising, the IRS. You can have that, Mr. Bunny. And finally he said, listen, take it or else. He said, you got to take this because you have the right heart of what Wildlife Action is about. I said, I'll take it if you agree to stay on as a consultant and help with the business side and the, the IRS and all those things. So that's our agreement. Mr. Bunny still works with us. He is a consultant. I go to him often as my mentor and problem solver, and he helps me with a lot of these issues. So he's still involved. And so now I'm no longer Senior Vice President of Education. I am the CEO. Okay, our youth programs. These are basically the same things. Our mission is to put these young people out in the woods. And, Wildlife Action, our programs and our camps aren't necessarily for everybody because I enjoy making it hard. I enjoy making it difficult. We're going to do everything from clean ducks and clean fish and, have visiting instructors come in and learn about snakes and trapping and hunting and fishing and blood trailing. So it's a little bit on the hardcore side, but it has its place, and I think that's very important. When I was growing up in the 70s, 80s, I feel like that was the last generation that kind of got the rural side of it. Now it's so much technology. And I have 3 kids, and technology is wonderful. I have all phones, and my kids do too. But it's really good to unplug and get back to basics and get your hands in the dirt. And sweat a little bit at camp and work hard and do team building activities. And that's what we're trying to do. So every day at camp, we raise the flag, we lower the flag. We say the lessons at every meal. We have a devotion each morning. Your pants are pulled up, there's no heavy makeup, there's no earrings, dangling earrings, none of that kind of stuff. You're back to building teamwork and back to the basics. And that's what we're trying to continue to promote. Now, we're not a religious organization, don't want to mislead you. We have various devotion folks come in each morning. It might be the Baptist, it might be the Presbyterian, Southern Baptist. It might be we have a Jewish chiropractor in town, and his daughter comes in and sings songs, Jewish songs, and it's all about a spirit of appreciation. So that's what we're trying to teach. We do have sponsorships for children. Out of our 350 kids that come to camp, about 1 out of every 4 comes on a scholarship. So individuals such as yourself, civic organizations like this, businesses, all kind of corporate events, and we have an endowment program called Money's Pioneers where we're able to give these kids scholarships to come to camp. Money will never be a limiting factor for these kids to participate in our events. Thank goodness that people do these kind of things. We were able to give away over $13,000 in scholarships last year. And this applies not only for summer camps, but for our youth hunting programs and other activities that we do every day. Okay, real quick, day camp. Day camp is ages 6 to 11. You come on Monday morning at 8 a.m. You leave at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. And these are just some different pictures, different clips from different people. That's Dr. Todd Blevins up in the corner right there doing his devotion. He does a wonderful devotion each time. We have a chaplain, so we have a number of different people come in, but this is Dr. Blevins' mother. Yep, we do begin and end every day in chapel. Some of our day camp activities. Go ahead, Mark. We'll have gun safety, snakes, water watch, gardening. Basically, there's 4 outdoor skills classes. Archery, fishing, canoeing, and gun safety. Those are the 4 outdoor skills classes. And then there's a lot of environmental education classes, such as snakes, gardening, water watch, where you actually sample the invertebrate life in the pond to determine the health of the ecosystem based on the animals that are found in place. Okay, there's archery. This is a kind of cool class. Of course, that's not a real farmer. He's got a fake beard, but we call it Farmer Brown. And it's all about land ethics. It's about how to approach a farmer, ask him if you can use his land for whatever reason you're wanting to do it, and how to take care of the land, how to treat it better, and leave it better than what you found. We do have visiting instructors as well. Mad Science is one of them that come in and do a nature-based curriculum for science, and they'll do everything from hovercrafts to how plants, soak up moisture. It's a really cool class, and we'll do this each year too. Fly fishing and knot tying. That's Jamie Peel from Orvis. And at the end of the week, we give out these awards for archery, canoeing, bait casting, marksmanship. And then sometimes we give out a special award just called the Wildlife Action Spirit Award for a really special camper who comes and gives all of everything they can, treats the other campers well, and just has a great spirit and tries to participate in the event. So those are our main awards. Okay, That's a typical day camp. We'll have between 80 and 100 kids. We'll do 2 of those. Then we go to North Carolina to Whiteville and do 1. Then we come back to South Carolina to Mullins and start our overnight camp system. Now the overnight camps is a little different. There's a 9 to 12-year-old overnight camp, and then there's a 13 to 16-year-old overnight camp. We still do the outdoor skills classes. We still do the environmental education programs, but we do other things such as right there it says cooling off at pool time. That's actually our spring-fed pond. It's a black water pond system that's fed from a spring head underground. So we'll swim, we'll do canoeing, we do trapping, but on Thursday night, if you look in that top right-hand corner, it says How the West Was Lost, we put on a play for the parents. The parents come Spirit Night at 6 o'clock. We meet them at the flagpole, we take them through the chapel, do our awards presentation, and then we capture the parents, take them over to the island, and put on this play called How the West Was Lost. And it's about a Native American chief who had 2 sons. One wants war with the European settlers, one wants peace with the European settlers, and kind of his dilemma on what to do. So the kids put it on. We've got some of our senior counselors been there long enough. They direct the play. I try to stay clear of it so they don't feel any pressure, and but everybody participates. They have a speaking part, they're a drummer, they're a dog soldier, they're an Indian maiden, there's something in play every time. And then after the play is over, we run the parents off, we open up the dining hall and have a big pizza party and a dance that last evening before they go home Friday morning. Big hit. Okay? Right here in the top left-hand corner, these are some of our national board members. These fellas started out as campers back in the 90s. Now they're national board members. That's Thomas Hunter and Ross Garner. Both of those guys. One reason we're able to keep our costs down, and our cost is $300 a week. That's for an overnight camp. And then it's $40 for the membership, which is required by our insurance company. But considering those kids come on Sunday afternoon, they don't leave till Friday morning, everything's paid for, all their meals. And one way we're able to do that is because our board members provide a meal at each of our overnight camp systems. So these gentlemen are taking their time, pull out their wallet, and it's important to us you don't just pay somebody to bring a meal. You come participate, cook the meal, see the kids, listen to their songs, and be involved in it so you understand what Wildlife Action is all about. That's really the pay of what these gentlemen are receiving by working with Wildlife Action in a volunteer position.
Have people watermelon in the face?
Yes, there is a watermelon eating contest, that's right. There's the old egg toss and the tug of war and all that good stuff. We do visit the Little Piggy River on the overnight camp systems. And one of our founder members, Mr. Ed White, he's got the nicest sandbar down at Fort Rich community, so we get to go down there and use that property each time. And then down at the bottom corner, that's just another example of one of our devotions. That's Mr. Wally Elliott and his Labradors. That's Roxy, he calls it the Roxy Ministry. Basically relates how the dog's obedience should be our obedience to God. Okay, there's the tea rescue. I'll tell you one brief story. I know we've got 10 minutes left. But we do guided river trips as well. Wildlife Action guides on the Little Pee the Big Pee Lynch's River, and Sparkleberry Swamp. So if you ever have a group that wants to go out, we have a minimum of 6 required. We'll take you on one of these places and do a guided river trip for you. Well, I did a guided river trip for Roach Carolina Pharmaceutical Company some years ago. These were their visiting dignitaries from all over the world. These people were 6-figure salaries, had PhDs, very, very smart people. So we did a guided river trip, went to Greg Rogers' place on the Little Piggy and Dillon. And anyway, one of the guys flipped their boat, and these are super smart people. They were taking this boat full of water and trying to drag it up on the bank and just having a terrible time. And I was thinking in my mind, I didn't say this to them, but I was thinking, if you'd come to camp when you were 9 years old, you could have learned to ride a canoe in 1 minute's time and flipped that thing right back up and been in the water. So there's lessons to be learned in the outdoors that you can't necessarily learn somewhere else, and T-Rescue is one of them. We do have visiting folks come in, everything from the president of the South Carolina Trappers Association to the vice president of the Falconers Association here in South Carolina. He brings in birds of prey of different sorts, and so they get to see live, hands-on animals and activities as well. Herpetology, that is Dr. Jeffrey Camper. He'll bring in a number of snakes and reptiles of all sorts, and I know a lot of people don't like snakes, and a lot of people prefer snakes that are, be dead, but they do perform very valuable services for people. They have their place, and Dr. Camper tries to let you know there is a place for them. And he's been a herpetologist for 54 years. And he's a really, really good guy. Got a lot of good stories. Everything from snake bites to snake cures, what the medicines that are being, snake venom is being used for. So that's another visiting instructor that comes through. Okay? And even something simple as learning how to make a crawdad trap out of a 2-liter bottle. I mean, that's kind of a cool camp. There's one of the camps, like I say, there's 2 day camps, then the North Carolina day camp, then 9 to 12-year-old called Pathfinder overnight camp, teen camp, and the last camp we have is called Outdoor Heritage Camp. This is my particular favorite camp. At Outdoor Heritage Camp, it's strictly about hunting, fishing, and survival skills. So on that camp, we actually go camp on the Little Petey River, set cat hooks, spend the night, learn how to work in the boats, cook over the fire, do things like build crawdad traps. So that was a really fun camp too, and it's more of the hardcore kind of kids. Retriever demonstrations. Okay. Entomology. This is actually Ben Powell. He's the natural resource agent for, I don't think he comes up in Marlborough County. I think he's Marion, Williamsburg, Georgetown, and Horry County. And he's the executive vice president of Wildlife Action. And as far as offshore fishing, Lawrence, this is our man right here. He goes all the time. I take him freshwater fishing and hunting. He takes me offshore fishing, so we have a good time together. But he does a really cool class. It's an entomology class where he sets up these white sheets with black lights. All these bugs come in, and somehow or another he can identify all of them. It's a pretty neat class. And we also visit other places as well. We go to the horse farm. One place is called God's Horses Equestrian Center in Mullins. And they take you out there and teach you how to saddle them, care for them, brush them, ride them. We ride in the rings. And that's a lot of fun too. We usually do that at the teen camp, the oldest teens camp. Okay? This is a private camp. We do this periodically. We don't do it every year, but we also do a camp for the Marine ROTC program. They'll come in for 3 days, Monday through Wednesday, and we'll do mainly shooting sports and training activities, pattern shotguns and loading ammunition, everything like that, from handguns all the way up through shotguns. So we've been working with them for the last 5 years. We couldn't get our schedules together last year, but I think we'll be back to this year.
Where do they come from?
Marion and Mullins. The Georgetown, we have a chapter in Horry and Aner. The Georgetown ROTC program goes with that chapter and does one there as well. Okay, good gracious, don't have a birthday at camp. Instead of singing happy birthday, we shave a cream and throw you in the pond. So that's how our camp works, just to let you know. If you're, some parents and grandparents send their kids because they want their child to get off the computer and maybe suffer a bug bite or two, and that does happen. But it's all about an umbrella of support and love. We want to solve problems. We maybe even want you to fail at some things and push yourself further than what you thought you could, so that we can be there to catch you and push you and help you do things maybe you didn't think you could do. So at teen camp, we do mile swim. The kids have to swim our entire pond there and back, 5 laps within an hour and 15 minutes. If they accomplish that with no life jacket, now they do have 2 lifeguards in a boat right beside them the whole time. But if they accomplish it, they get their name on the wall, and it's there forever and ever on our wall of fame. Same thing, we do a 5K run. If you complete that in 26 minutes, it's a trail course, so it's a difficult course. You get your name on the wall of fame, and it'll be there forever and ever. So typically, there'll be maybe 3 5K runners a summer, possibly 5, 6, 7 mile swimmers each summer. So it's a big accomplishment. Did you guys do that then?
We didn't do it when I was there.
Gotcha. Yeah. The day camps have been running, this will be our 29th year. The overnight camps, not nearly as long. I think maybe 13 years or 12, something like that. Okay. I'll briefly mention this. Again, at Outdoor Heritage Camp and some of our overnight camps, we take them out to another facility we have in Marion County called McClellan Park. McClellan Park is a 35-acre property with skeet, trap, pistols, rifle, archery on one half of the property. Then there's a 460-foot boardwalk with a 200-square-foot sitting area in the middle of it. And on the other side of the property is camping, nature trails, fire pits, grills, 2 12 by 24 cover shelters. So that's a facility that we use not only at camp, but our members. If you possess a concealed weapon permit, if you pass a wildlife action safety course, you can purchase a key and come and go and use that property as you please, except for skeet and trap. We have to have our RSO, a range safety officer, on site for skeet and trap. During this time of the year here, I try to have an RSO on site every weekend, but if you have a group, again, of 6 or more, whether it's day or night, we've got lights, we can shoot under the lights, first-class wireless machines. Just give me a call, and we'll set up a time for you for your events or clients.
Right, where is that?
That's in the Zion Community of America. So I left from there today. It took me 43 minutes to get here from there. So, not too far. Okay? And really, this is what camp's about, just having good times. And hit the next one. And group hug. There's Mr. Bunny in the middle right there. These kids, some of them, the first 2 days, you come to camp, you're a little bit nervous, a little bit shy, scared, maybe away from home for your first time. But by the end of the week, everybody's so close, they really don't want to go home. It goes really fast. So that's kind of our camps. I will mention this, and we won't go any further. If you want to, you can just be flipping through it while I'm saying this. We're in the middle of our fur, fin, and feather program. September through March, we do a number of youth hunts with children. We'll do everything from dog drives, which isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but they got 14,000 acres and they can do what they want to on their land. We got father son hunts, deer hunts, duck hunts. Turner, can you get back to that one? This is a great hunt, and you mentioned about disabilities. We do some disabled hunts as well. We partnered with a group called Hunting for the Cure. These are children that have terminal illnesses, and we take them out to DW Outdoors and Outdoor Preserve, and they get a guaranteed hunt, guaranteed 5 birds. We have a film crew follow them around. We give them waders, knives, all kind of things, and give a DVD to their parents at the end of it, totally free of charge. And DW Outdoors is a very gracious host that allows us to use that facility for that. We do have a hunt in February lined up at DW Outdoors. This will be not for the disabled or the terminally ill children, but there's another young man who came to one of these hunts a long time ago. Now he makes duck calls, sells them, and the money he raises, he sends 2 children, special needs children, to camp. So if y'all run across any kids, special needs kids, we've got handicap lines, we got guides, dogs, collars, the whole works. Send them to us. We'd be glad to put them in the woods and give them an opportunity to enjoy the outdoors too. Okay? Dove shoots. That's the Hunt for the Cure. Hog hunts. Turkey hunts. And really, it's by the fire, enjoying your time with friends and family, and what it's all about. So, is that it? Oh, there's one. I did want to mention this. It's not just for boys. That's my little girl on the right. She's actually on the PD Academy shooting sports team. And she shot her first deer at 9, and she's been going ever since. And that's her friend Tristan, who shot her first hog with us last year. So the girls are always welcome, moms are always welcome. Our hunting camp has 16 beds with 8 bedrooms, outdoor dining hall, skin rack, the whole works. So feel free to come and have your own bedroom and live nice and secure. Okay? All righty. I think this will be the end of it. We won't have time for the rest, but I just want to make mention, we are a private organization. We do depend on fundraisers and scholarships and sponsorships and things like that. So as a 501c3 nonprofit organization who also carries a 509A2 public charity status, any donations that you give will be a benefit and help with wildlife action. And these are some of the things, like if we were to use your property, we've got $2 million insurance coverage. Your donation and your interest will be given as far as the tax write-off. You become listed as a sponsor, and you get all of our publications and things, as a donation. As a recognition. And then lastly, we had a gentleman. You want to hit that last one? We had, like this gentleman here. He gave us a very, very valuable piece of property right on the river at Fort Ridge, $400,000 property. And Mr. Reynolds Williams of Florence donated that property to us, and we now have plans and hopes to build a new resource education center and have another boat launch, and that's what we can operate out of for our guided river trips and ecotourism activities. So, that's really my program. I wanted to show you some of the devastation that we suffered from the flooding. That property that you were looking at, all those nice wonderful pictures, we were 1.5 miles underwater when all that stuff was going on. That was that resort where the kids were taking their picture. That's what it looked like. That's the second floor. It's up to the second floor. Just everything's just stored pieces. So, if in your generosity you would like to help our organization by sponsoring a child to come to camp, or maybe giving to our flood relief fund as a donation to the organization as a tax write-off to you, it would be greatly appreciated. I do have my card. It's got some information on it. You can go to wildlifeaction.com. There's a donate now tab. But it was really, really a major hit to us, and we don't qualify for FEMA. We did not have flood insurance because we were, well off the river. No one expected this. So we were really having to rebuild. That's our lodges, the kids' lodges is underwater. That's dock with the chapel behind it. You can't even see. So that's the chapel right there. So it's just something along the little PD. It's on the Little PD. It's right where the Little PD and the Lumber River converge. It's on the Fort Branch community, right off Highway 76 between Mullins and Nichols. So I appreciate your attention. If you want to ask me a couple of questions, I'd be glad to answer, but I know it's a couple minutes past 2.
I'd just like to make a comment. I spoke to you about Bob Shaker. I just remember Bob Shaker, who used to be in Roman, for those of you who don't know him. He was one of the, I guess he was on the board of directors at one time. And as I said, his sons, who were 29 and 28, both went to camp there. And we as Boy Scouts went there too, Charles Paul. Had a great time. So I talked to him.
Yeah, please. And if by chance you come across something later, if you go to that wildlifeaction.com, there's all the contact information on there too. But I'll leave some cards if anybody needs to comment. Anybody have any other questions or comments? Thank you so much. We appreciate it.